What's the cruelest prank you've ever seen? A friend of a friend in high school had her boyfriend pretend that he died. He had one of his friends call her saying he had died in a car accident and had someone else calling up pretending to be a doctor from the hospital. She was hysterical. Later that day, after she kept asking the fake doctor which hospital it was so she could be there, she found out it was all prank to see if she cared. Horrible. Anyway, they broke up. To this day it's the nastiest prank I've seen in person. In 6th grade I opened my locker and a note from the boy I had a crush on fell out saying he liked me too. A bunch of girls in my grade were there when I found it and were super happy for me, or I thought they were. When I went to the boy to ask him about it he said he didn't write it and the group of girls who were there when I found the note had written it. I turned around and sure enough they're laughing. But it crushed me, not that the boy didn't like me back but because I didn't think these girls I'd gone to school with since 1st grade were that mean. A couple weeks later the group played a similar joke on one of the girls who was actually in on the prank against me, and I got a genuine apology from her after she realized how bad I must have felt. None of the other girls ever apologized. Prank war going on in between two houses that were next to each other in San Diego, California circa 2014. My cousin lived in one of the houses and this happened when I went to visit him a few years back. House number 1 pulled a prank that led to a member in house number 2 being late for his first day of work. It was collateral damage but the guy ended up getting fired for it. Guy who lost his job came home furious. He then took a 15-pound medicine ball and painted it to look just like a soccer ball. He tossed the medicine ball into the front yard of house number 1 and waited. When he saw the guy come out of the house he yells, "Hey Josh, can you kick that ball back over here?" Dude proceeds to take a running start and square up and kick the soccer ball with every ounce of strength he had. Poor bastard went down almost immediately in tears and screaming. Ended up breaking 3 bones in his right foot. Just brutal. Seen a video of 2 small girls. One told the other to look at the doorknob really close as it distorts your face. She then slammed the door right into her face hitting her teeth. In high school, someone made a pipe bomb and sneakily threw it into a metal trash can. One of my friends unknowingly walked by when it exploded and blew out his eardrum. The trash can looked like a peeled banana afterward. That person was ratted out and expelled. Edit. Kid was arrested afterwards. Saw him 10 years later working at a car wash. All of this happened in 1997. Saw a guy tip over the porta potty with someone in it. That memory is clear. I think it was his GF. A friend of mine faked her suicide to get back at her boyfriend for April Fool's Day. I had helped her without knowing she was going that far. Her boyfriend had called her a slut and dumped her when she told him she was pregnant. Don't miss living in college dorms. Don't miss either of them. A group of girls at my high school told a girl that they were hanging out at one of their houses at 9 near a train station, but they really just made up a time and place that would make her stranded at the last train stop with no more trains home. Someone asked a guy to be her boyfriend, he said yes and the next day she invited all her friends to tell him that she did it as a joke. Friend of mine had a crush on his coworker. It was sort of an open secret. His manager tried to help him, offered advice, some things to say, small gifts she might be into, etc. What no one knew at the time was that said manager and said coworker had recently started dating and hadn't told anyone yet. So he meant it as a prank on his new girlfriend to be put into these awkward situations. But my friend's feelings were really hurt when it all came out. When I was a kid, somehow my classmates found it funny to piss in other people's cans of soda. I did not have a good childhood. In middle school a girl came up to us on the playground and told this dude to go see the principal. He's looking for you. He got a call that your mom died. Then as soon as the dude ran away she told us all she just made it up. It was fucking horrible. My ex-friend thought it was a funny prank to kill my brother's hamster and tie it up and dress it in ridiculous ways. I don't know the person, and yet everybody knows the kid, but at my school, he'd unscrew the razors of handheld pencil sharpeners and then try to discreetly cut people's forearms and legs. What he'd been trying to accomplish is, and this is just twisted, make the people's parents think they'd be cutting themselves. Whenever the victim went to try and tell the teachers, they'd think the same thing. Shit went down when the person he'd been constantly targeting beat the shit out of him. Victim was put to juvie, he got out practically free, and now he uses needles to poke holes into people. He's not a phlebotomist, or tattooist. Last I heard from high school, incidents like the same happened, but with needles. Though, he's been way more discreet about it. Nobody knows who's doing it, other than me. This happened to me. 7th grade during Valentine's Day we had candygrams and cutesy stuff we could send to our friends and obviously middle schoolers are sending them to their crushes. They would receive these candygrams during a class period as someone came by dropping them off. You could write a little message and then who it's from. I got one from this guy/friend I liked and went up to him the next period and brought it up and said it was really cute and thanks. He looked a little confused but was like no problem. I felt kind of dumb after that and walked away, just to find out the next day that it was one of my friends who sent it to me and just put his name on it to make it seem like it was him. I mean, at least he was nice enough to go along with it because he was just as confused. When they gave that raccoon the cotton candy, bastards. Saw a kid at high school cafeteria spend 20 minutes removing seeds from jalapenos and chopping up the seeds until he had a handful. He walked over to a different table and threw the handful of sliced up seeds into the eyes/face of another kid. Happened to me. Was at my first school dance in middle school. Was always the shy kid, so I was surprised when one of the popular chicks came to ask me to dance. I said no because I was shy, but I was elated that I got asked. A few minutes later I'm in the bathroom stall and a few kids come in and start talking about how they paid her $10 to ask me, and if I said yes she would have just tripped me and made me look dumb. I never went to another dance all throughout middle and high school, even prom. When I was in 8th grade a thing called turtling and zip tying backpacks were popular. Well, one day early in the year on the bus ride home a kid decided to zip tie a 6th grader's backpack to the leg of the chair which is welded to the floor. When he got up to leave and realized his backpack was stuck he started panicking trying to get it undone and eventually had to leave the backpack and he was stressing out saying his mom was going to freak out on him. He looked like he was about to cry. At my school we used to do senior pranks. They were all approved by the teachers and were good fun. Well, a separate group of seniors wanted to do a second prank, and they ended up setting off a smoke bomb in the cafeteria. The whole cafeteria had to be evacuated. No more senior pranks for us. I don't have a specific example in my life, but I've always thought those fake lottery tickets are cruel. Those people think their life is going to change, and then it's all yanked away from them while people laugh. Same energy as when a parent gifts their kids something in the box for an iPad/Switch/something expensive and fancy, but it's really something shitty and lame inside. The entire joke is, haha, you thought your dreams were coming true, but then they didn't. Look at us, a bunch of kidders, to toy with your emotions like that. It was at a company Christmas party. We all participated in gift exchange. Well, a fellow employee gifted fake scratch-off lotto tickets to another employee. She scratched them and legit thought she won $10K. She was screaming and crying with joy. Single mom, so you can imagine. She started calling her family to tell the good news and then she's telling everyone drinks are on me. Eventually, the gifter came clean with the news that they were fake. And then she had a nervous breakdown. It was really sad. Her brother eventually came to pick her up from the party, designated driver, and he beat the shit out of the other employee who gave the gift. I never attended another Christmas party ever again. Too much drama and something always goes wrong or people can't handle themselves and then they start hooking up with each other. It's just a rule I have now. Making someone believe that they have won the lottery and crush their happy feelings afterwards. This is the most cruel thing I can imagine. Making someone really happy and make them realize that it was all a lie. Had a girl messaging me some lyrics to a song, looked like she was trying to admit to having feelings, but when I said I liked her back she said it was just for a TikTok. I told her it was pretty annoying and then she started saying that she actually did like me and she was sorry, but turns out that was just for her to take screenshots and post those too. I don't know if that counts as a prank, but a Russian YouTuber was arrested after locking his pregnant girlfriend outside in Russian winter wearing only her underwear. She died of hypothermia right on their balcony. I may have conducted the most cruel prank without even meaning to. While in high school once a month or so there was a half day on a Friday. It was posted and scheduled in advance. My friend and I liked to remind each other in the halls, loudly, that it was half day. When it wasn't the right week, people would get excited and happy. Then after lunch they'd see me and remind me that I was an asshole for getting their hopes up. Priceless and a harmless prank. One week we did this and I guess the right people overheard. A few kids' parents were bus drivers. They called their parents to remind them it was a half day. Somehow it snowballed and at 11:30 buses had parked out front of every school in the district and they had to cancel the other half of the day because the bus service drivers were pissed to find out they had to cancel their plans for no reason. Principal called me and my friend to the office and said he knows it's our fault, but no one fact-checked it and so it wasn't really our fault. He smiled and sent us on our way to enjoy our half day. Thanks for listening. Subscribe for more daily videos.